like and subscribe to the Yaksha Files for multiple new videos every week. I'd watch the Outdoor Boy's YouTube channel for hours. The way he camped alone, built shelters, cooked by the fire. It made solitude in the forests look peaceful, controlled. And when life got too loud for me, camping in the forests felt like the place where the only expectations were the ones I set for myself. That's how I ended up at the Siju forest trails in Meghalaya. Online, it looked untouched, calm, almost inviting, exactly the kind of place outdoor boys would explore. But I should have done more research. The locals whispered about spirits of previous hikers roaming around the forests, unable to get out, and some hikers even getting touched and pushed. They had a different name for the place: the Lopping Forests. I thought it meant the trails looped, and I didn't realize they meant something else entirely. I reached the trail around 11 a.m. The sun was out, the sky was clear, everything was normal. Since I had mapped the area before, I knew the path, a 6 kilometers trek, to reach the clearing where I wanted to set up my camp. Starting my hike, I kept trekking for about 3 kilometers when I reached a fork in the path, one leading left, the other right. Taking the left path, I took out my knife and marked an old log nearby that had fallen down with an arrow pointing towards the way I came to make sure I'd be able to find my way back. Then I kept walking, but the second I stepped past the first thick line of trees, the air felt different, somehow colder, like the forest had just inhaled. The light dimmed through the thick trees. The bird calls faded. Even the wind seemed to go quiet, but I kept walking. About an hour later, I noticed the first weird thing: a stack of stones on the left side of the path, perfectly balanced, too perfect. Hikers make weird art sometimes while taking a break, so I didn't touch them and kept walking. But then, minutes later, I saw another stack, the same height, same shape. Then another. I told myself hikers made them, but my stomach was already uneasy. I stopped by the side of a small river to get some water from my filter bag. I had just finished filling up the bag and looked up towards the clearing when I heard a small gasp and a thud. One of the stone piles was suddenly right in front of me, and I don't mean farther ahead on the trail. I mean directly in front of my feet. I swear I hadn't moved. I got back to the path, but the air suddenly felt even heavier, like someone was standing behind me. I didn't turn around, I just started walking faster. But the deeper I went, the darker it got. Not nighttime dark, but the kind of dim light where colors look washed out and the shadows feel too thick. That's when I heard breathing right behind me. Slow, uneven, human. I spun around. Nothing. I tried to tell myself I was imagining things and kept walking the path. Then I saw something familiar. A fallen log across the path, almost exactly like the one I had marked just 2 hours ago. But I didn't see any markings on this one. I rushed to the log and checked the side I couldn't see. And there it was, the exact mark I had made, pointing forward deeper into the forests. Everything around the log looked the same as before, just mirrored. Like I had walked into a flipped version of the trail. Then I decided it was better to head back, and took the trail towards where the arrow was pointing, even though it didn't make sense. Another hour passed. I took a curve on the trail, and I saw something that completely distorted my sense of reality. A stack of stones on the left side of the path, perfectly balanced. I started getting a little scared. Had I been going the wrong way this entire time? Even though I followed the way I had marked, picking up the stones, I saw that they were just sticking together and not coming apart, as if some invisible force was holding them together. I took the stones with me as I walked back to the fallen log, to recheck my way and make sure I was walking back to society. But before I could reach much further, I saw a clearing and a river, the same place I had filled my filter bag from. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know how I kept losing my way. And there was a figure standing at the edge, bent over the river, like he was collecting the water. Finally, another human being. I shouted, "Hey, hello, can you help me?" I'm lost. He didn't react, not even a flinch. I went towards the person while calling out to him and still nothing. No reaction, even though my voice was echoing over the river out to the forests ahead. Even though I reached close by, I couldn't see the features of the person, like he had been blurred from existence. I pulled up right next to him as he got up after his task and asked, "Hey, I've been calling out to you for so long." He turned towards me but wasn't looking at me but straight through me. And when I saw his face, I let out a small scream that barely escaped my throat and dropped the stack of stones I was holding. It was my own face, holding the water filter, looking down at the stones that had just dropped from my hands. I ran away, my brain screaming, my hands shaking. Then I saw it, a shape lying on the ground ahead of me. Clothes torn, body twisted, blood soaking into the roots. And when I got close enough to see the shirt, my heart almost stopped. It was the same shirt I was wearing. I fell to my knees. It was my own body. I touched my chest. No heartbeat. I touched my face. No warmth. I tried to stand up but couldn't. I wasn't breathing. I hadn't been breathing for a long time. The forest wasn't trapping me. It had already killed me. Hours ago. Everything after that. A loop. A replay. I tried to scream, but my voice just dissolved into the trees. I could feel myself dissolving entirely. And then, I heard voices, real ones. A group of hikers walked into the clearing, laughing, talking, unaware of everything around them. I ran to them yelling, "Stop! Please, stop." But they walked straight through me, like I wasn't even there. Something snarled in the trees behind them. It was a low, guttural growl that shook the leaves. I watched in horror as branches shifted and a huge blurred shadow jumped towards them. I tried to warn them again, to scream, to do anything. But the forest swallowed my voice, and then my body and forms until finally I was nothing. I still roam the forest looping endlessly. I still try warning other hikers when I see them, but the living never hear the dead. If you ever visit the Siju forest trails in Meghalaya, never take the wrong turn. If you enjoyed this story, if it creeped you out even a little, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you think. You can check out other stories about haunted places, real encounters, and Home Alone horrors with the links here, or from visiting my channel. The Yaksha Files will be back soon with another case, and remember, always stay safe out there. Thank you for watching.